Good morning and welcome to the Monday, August 26, 2024 Wilson County Commissioners Court meeting. Before we begin, we're going to have a prayer by Pastor John Conrad of the First Lutheran Church in Floresville, and then we'll proceed with our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, bless the leaders of our land, that we may be a people at peace among ourselves and a blessing to others around us. Send down upon those who hold office in this court the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their office to promote the well-being of all people. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
All right, do we have any public comment? We have one by Commissioner Gary Martin, so you have your 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. I want to digress back to our last Commissioners Court meeting. I don't think we adequately explained to the public how the selection process for the constable and precinct one is. There's been some discussion that it wasn't done as it was in the past, and to a certain extent, that's true. So let me explain what happened. So Constable Fowler passed away in February of this year, before the election occurred. The election occurred, and Mr. Liedtke was elected during that election. Subsequent to that election, Mr. Liedtke was appointed to complete the unexpired term, which is the remainder of this calendar year. And he will be the person that will be on the ballot since he won the primary. In the case of Constable Guzman won his election. He subsequently passed away after the election, which means that the Republican Party County Executive Council had to select the candidate that would appear on the ballot in November, since he won the primary election. This court chose not to appoint anyone to that position until after the party had made their selection, and so that is what we did last week. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Cynthia Stafford, Emergency Management. Is that microphone on, by the way?
Doesn't sound like it.
Didn't sound like it. There it is.
Now it's green.
Now it's green.
There you go.
Okay, sorry. I'm Cindy Stafford, Wilson County Emergency Manager, and I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce John Lyon. John Tyler, I'm so sorry. It's been a long week, as everybody knows. He is our new county liaison officer from TDM. You'll be seeing him at scenes. He was extremely helpful last week. We had tremendous response from all first responders, and he was really eyes and ears. So if y'all see.
Hi, John, welcome aboard. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to bear with me. We have a lot of certificates we need to put into records, so I'm going to try to shorten this down on agenda item number 4. For cyber security awareness training, this is through the DIR. We have completions by Christina Moots, Gabrielle Landrum, Haley Robbie. Oh, where'd these come from?
Dawn?
Okay, all right. I want to make sure she knows about that. For cyber security awareness, the DIR Certified Cybersecurity Awareness Training, Olga Marrero, Sarah Perez, Rose Pruski, Rose Labus, Francis Matsigamba. Again, another one for Olga Marrero, Rose Labus, Sarah Pettis, Rose Pruski, Francis Matsigamba. "2024 Summer Conference of Vital Trail Across Texas, Certificate of Attendance, Death Registration, and Tex Ever Amendments." Genevieve Martinez, Crystal Hidalgo. Another one for Crystal Hidalgo, Gail Ritchie. Another Gail Ritchie, Genevieve Martinez. Gail Ritchie for American College of Surgeons, Committee on Trauma, Stop the Bleed course. Stop the Bleed course. The next ones are all for the same one. Crystal Hidalgo, Mary Spoon, Georgina Lira, Loretta Rodriguez, and Liliana Lopez. Cybersecurity awareness training. The DIR certified cybersecurity awareness training goes completed by Brenda Trevino, Kayla Prado, Amanda Bravo, Kristen Lavis. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. I think that got mixed up. Number 6. Vehicle titles and registration verification record for A-102 Funds Management. Angelica Cuellar, another one for Angelica Cuellar. It's 102 Funds Management, 101 Introduction to Registration, 102 Registration Basics, Angelica Cuellar. 103 What You Need to Register, Angelica Cuellar. She's busy. R104 Renewals, Angelica Cuellar. Miscellaneous Registration Transactions Completion, Angelica Cuellar. 106 Permits, Angelica Cuellar. Disabled Parking Placards, Angelica Cuellar. Overview and Security, Angelica Cuellar. She didn't take this all in one day, did she? Okay. That's a lot of courses. Okay. Closeout and Reports, Angelica Cuellar. Voiding, Setting Aside, and Reprinting in RTS. Specialty License Plates, Ms. Cuellar. Introduction to Single Sticker, Ms. Cuellar. Status Change, Ms. Cuellar. Miscellaneous Registration Transactions, Ms. Cuellar. Titles and the Texas DMV, Ms. Cuellar. Tax and Presumptive Value, SPV, Ms. Cuellar. So let me see. If these are all Ms. Cuellar, I'm going to just name them all. Title Transaction, Title for New Resident. Title only and registration purposes only. Odometer. Title errors. Trailers and semi-trailers. Introduction of NMVTIS. Exempt authority. Correct title rejection, additional sales tax. Operation of law. Street rods and custom vehicles. Off-road type vehicles replaced, 061-2020. Bonded titles replaced. Licensed vehicle storage facility of lien foreclosures. Mechanics lien foreclosure. NMVTIS 2, R11 internal renewal. Web sub for county, let me back up. These next two are for Ms. Noguez, is that how you say it? Noguez. Internet renewal, county administrators, approving batches in the web sub. Introduction to reports, security and administration, insufficient funds, refunds, inventory management, entity updates and reports, funds management 2, Cognos fraud reports. Now we have certificate of completion for DIR certification, cybersecurity awareness, Ms. Dawn Barnett, Ruby Camarillo, Angelica Cuellar, Jennifer Hausenflug, Jennifer Holman, Monica Lascano, Daniela Noguez, Rosie Soto, Wendy Troquil. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you're nodding yes. So Sandra Rial, Mariela Urena. We have another Stop the Bleed, Ms. Dawn Barnett. These are all Stop the Bleed. Ruby Camarillo, Angelica Cuellar, Jennifer Hausenfluke, Jennifer Holman, Monica Lascano, Daniela Noguez, Rosie Soto, Wendy Troquel. These next one here, they're different, correct? Okay, so now we have vehicle titles and registration verification record on introduction to fraud. Ms. Cuellar, again, people in action, Ms. Cuellar. The next 2 or 3 are for her. Supplement internal fraud for staff, counterfeits and alterations, security features. And I think that's it. We move to agenda item number 5. We have Ms. Brenda Trevino discuss take action. We're past that 9 o'clock, but that's okay. 5A, budget hearing, LGC 111-007.
Good morning, everyone. I have presented to you, provided to you a copy of the updated proposed budget. The proposed budget was filed with the county clerk on August the 14th. In addition, every elected official and department head receives their proposed budget accordingly. Since then, some changes have been made to the proposed budget, and that is the updated copy that we have. Judge, I would like to give my summary. Can y'all hear me? Yes?
No.
Okay, now? Okay, so I'm going to give a budget overview, and this is in the spirit of transparency for all of those present here today and those listening online. Development of the annual budget is a team effort relying on the knowledge and expertise of individuals throughout the county government and valuable input from the public. Priorities included the tax rate and protecting our ability and capacity to operate in future years while meeting the demands for essential and required services for Wilson County citizens in an economical fashion during a time of economic uncertainty. Despite all of the challenges that were faced during this budget process, this budget has a proposed tax rate of .414748 for every $100. Wilson County continues to maintain a very conservative philosophy that is reflected in our low debt service rate, our low tax rate, and fiscal health of the general fund's fund balance, which culminates from the overall budget and financial policies. County governments in Texas are limited in how they can raise revenue. The main sources of funding for the county are taxes, primarily ad valorem taxes, which are the property taxes, and grant revenue. Total property taxes represent for Wilson County approximately 46%. The remaining revenue comes from other funding streams as outlined in this budget, including $11.4 million in grant revenue for fiscal year 2025. Grant awards include the American Rescue Plan, Department of State Health Services, Operation Lone Star, Violent Crimes Against Women, the Indigent Defense Improvement Grant, the Indigent Defense Formula Grant, Statewide Automated Victim Notification Services Grant, Senate Bill 22 for prosecutors and the Sheriff's Department, and the Texas Division of Emergency Management. Because of these grant awards, Wilson County will be able to provide invaluable services to county constituents, including a new state-of-the-art emergency operations center and a shelter of last resort, an emergency evacuation center by expanding the current Wilson County Expo and Community Center. In this proposed budget, you're going to see some internal transfers of funds. From the general fund to road and bridge funds. Now, last year, if you remember, we allocated $2 million from the general fund's fund balance, which and allocated that money to each road and bridge precinct based on road mileage. One of the greatest needs and priorities in Wilson County continues to be repairing and construction of roads and bridges. This fiscal year 25 proposed budget now includes an additional $3 million to be transferred to each road and bridge precinct from the general fund's fund balance, unrestricted funds. And the amounts transferred to each precinct are
Take a break here and change the batteries right quick.
Must not have been ever ready. Energizer bunny.
Let's try this again. Okay. The amounts included in this proposed budget are as follows. For Precinct 1, $602,701.18. Precinct 2, $977,490.15. Precinct 3, $673,607.20. And Precinct 4, $746,201.46. This revenue is in addition to the ad valorem revenue and other revenue streams to be collected by each precinct for their respective operating budgets, and that can be found on pages 40 to 50 in the proposed budget. Another priority for Wilson County is making much-needed improvements at the county courthouse and surrounding buildings. This proposed budget includes $571,000 to also be transferred from the general fund's fund balance to make these needed improvements. The county is uncertain what these total expenses will be. However, we believe that this amount will be more than sufficient, and any unused monies would be transferred back to our fund balance, again, not affecting the tax roll. With Wilson County growing in population, the continued need for public safety is at the top of our list of priorities. This proposed budget includes the addition of 4 additional deputy positions in the sheriff's office, 2 of which were previously grant funded and now are being proposed to be absorbed in the general fund. In addition, the proposed budget also includes the hiring of a staffed county engineer and a part-time veteran service assistant to help meet the needs of our community. The estimated reserve funds in the general fund are deemed adequate to fund expenditures for 6 months of operating expenses. As of September 30th, 2023, Wilson County had approximately $15.4 million in the fund balance, and as a result, $4 million of that is being allocated in this budget, which I've just notated. The 2025 budget continues to hold to the established principles in Wilson County of conservative fiscal planning. The challenges faced by Wilson County in preparing this budget include the continued funding of programs mandated by the state, funding additional personnel to meet the needs of a growing population, and funding the general increases in insurance and operations while trying to reduce the tax rate. The county also considered providing an adequate workforce to ensure county functions are able to meet the needs of the growing population and ensuring competitive salaries for county workers as priorities. While it may seem that this budget has significantly increased from last year, the increase shown is not due to an increase in taxes. It's due to the several grant projects that are now in process and hopefully will be completed in the new fiscal year, in addition to the $4 million being transferred from the fund balance to meet these priorities. At this time, Judge, it would be an opportunity for the public hearing and any comments to be made.
Okay. Do we have anybody that would like to have a few words about the budget? I'm sorry, go ahead. There is one? Okay, who is? I hope I have this right. Is it Ms. Conrad? Donna? Okay, am I saying it right, ma'am? I'm sorry, I couldn't read your writing. Come on up, ma'am. Yeah. Please state your name and for the record.
My name is Donna Council. And this wasn't planned at all, so I'm not even sure. I just want to ask if there has been any discussion or anything about putting in an animal shelter.
There has been discussion. I have been in discussions with other counties regarding this. It is, I know Atascosa County's budget's over $2 million.
Yeah, that's typical. I've worked in other county shelters, city
We-
shelters, and that's,
We have asked, I've met with several people, we've asked that if people could put a proposal together to contract with us, we would be willing to look at that, because we do know that there needs to be something done. The sheriff and I have talked about it extensively. We know that. You can see that we're at a limited budget here in this county, but we understand that there's a problem.
yeah, Wilson County is a large county compared to some of the other ones I've been at that have their own shelters. And so, I mean, I know it's not, a lot of people don't really see it as a need, but it is. And you trying to filter through like the Wilson County no-kill, the Winkos shelter, it's not gonna work. They don't have the facility, they don't have manpower, they don't, because I've been there for 3 years. It's not set up to be able to help any other facilities other than what they're doing already, which is more than they should be doing.
So, and, you know, also take note that we're right up against Bear County, and a lot of these poor animals are being brought here and dumped here from another county. So we have.
Possibly, yes.
Well, no, it ain't possibly. I know that's happening.
Yeah, but you have no control over that,
No, we don't.
where they're coming from. That's every county, believe me.
So believe me, we have talked about this extensively, trying to find out the best economic way for the county to deal with this situation. It's difficult. Again, having spoken with the other county judges, it's a big financial ask.
Yeah, but it's a big problem.
But just note that it's on our radar.
Okay. So you're just needing somebody to put some figures together for a facility?
Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so we are now are we moving to item B, Judge?
Yeah, do we need a motion to accept no, not yet. I'm sorry.
No.
No, go ahead. Item 5B, go ahead. Discuss and propose a tax rate by a record vote.
Okay. The total tax rate currently for fiscal year 23-24, our current tax rate is 0.413133. The total tax rate being proposed for fiscal year 24-25 is 0.414748, which is an increase of 0.001615. The average homestead taxable value, which is not set by us, it's set by the appraisal district, in 2023 was $270,015. In 2024, it's $301,368, and this was an increase of $31,353, or 11.61%. The tax on the average homestead in 2023-2024 was $1,116. Fiscal year 2024-25, this would be $1,250 for an increase of $134. The total tax levy on all properties for fiscal year 23-24 currently is $21,257,134. And for fiscal year 2024, that equates to $23,176,233 for an increase of $1,919,099. Of that, 1 and to tell you what the property tax revenue to be raised from new property only in Wilson County added to the tax roll this year was $904,029.20. So at this time, Judge, we must set a record vote on accepting the proposed tax rate.
All right, Commissioners, I'll accept the motion for 5B.
Let me go ahead and read the notice so that you have it for the correct verbiage. So the proposed tax rate is 0.414748. The no new revenue tax rate, 0.398020. And the voter approval rate is 0.414748. The no new revenue tax rate is the tax rate for 2024 tax year that will raise the same amount of property tax revenue for the County of Wilson from the same properties in both the 2023 tax year and the 2024 tax year. The voter approval rate is the highest tax rate that Wilson County may adopt without holding an election to seek voter approval of the rate. The proposed tax rate is greater than the no new revenue tax rate, and this means that Wilson County is proposing to increase property taxes for 2024. The proposed tax rate is not greater than the voter approval tax rate, and as such, the county is not required to hold that election. So at this time, judges, when you would ask for the vote.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Trevino,
Yes, sir.
so help us again. Is it just to propose?
The motion?
It's just to propose the 4178, is it?
Yes, sir. The motion would be for the proposal to, for the proposed tax rate set at the voter approval tax rate of 0.414748.
I make a motion to set the proposed tax rate in accordance with the voter approval tax rate at .414748 per $100 valuation.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Paradola regarding agenda item number 5B. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes. We move to agenda item number 5C, set tax rate hearing date.
Yes, Judge. So I am proposing that we set a public hearing on the proposed tax rate for September 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m.
All right, the date's been set for September 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to set a public hearing September 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m. here in the courthouse.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Paradola. Do we have any other discussion on 5C?
Judge, I did want to make a brief comment because there have been some questions posed as to the timing of this hearing as well as the proposed tax rate hearing as to us having it at 9 a.m. versus evening time when people are off of work. I do want to let everyone know that we have had it at 6 p.m. As recent as 2 years ago, and no one from the public attends. And so we reverted it back to 9 a.m. For that reason. So I just wanted to make sure that people are aware that we have had it in the evening in the past.
Okay. Any other discussion, Commissioner? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you, ma'am. Agenda item number 6, we have Ms. Dawn Pelazic Barnett, County Tax Assessor Collector. Discuss and take action on the Texas Department of Motor Vehicle imposition of optional fees, calendar year 2025, option A, no change. Ma'am?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is just something that has to be approved every year. Nothing's changing with it. We already collect the county road and bridge fee of $10, and we are not, we cannot do any other fees. So it just has to be approved in court for me to submit it back to the state.
Commissioners, you all have this attachment that should have been in there. Can you please look? Have it? Let me pass it down. So there's been no change.
There's no change to it, no.
Let me
It's
do
the $10 road and bridge fee.
Give them a few minutes to take a look at that.
Sure.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 6.
Make a motion that we pass the Texas Department of Motor Vehicle imposition of optional fees, calendar year 2025, option A, no change.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner Paradola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Is there any other discussion regarding agenda item number 6? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Go to agenda item number 7. We have, we were going to have Mr. Lyle Huffstetler. He couldn't make it, so we have Mr. Jack Belton will be representing him. 7A, consider and take possible action on the resolution to establish the Wilson County PACE program. All right, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commissioners, good morning. My name is Jack Belt. I'm Program Liaison for Texas PACE Authority for Central Texas. Texas PACE Authority works with ACOG in this region to administer all the PACE programs. That is the day-to-day operations. We do everything from educational efforts and outreach to presentations, Chamber of Commerce's, economic development groups, councils, county commissioners. We also represent over 100 other programs in the state of Texas for governments, counties, and cities. We're asking your approval this morning to establish the PACE program, and I'm happy to address as best as I can any questions or concerns you may have.
Mr. Bell, we've already discussed this before in previous meeting, but just so that the commissioners and the audience know, there is no monetary risk to the county to participate in this program, correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Any question, Mr. Bell? We'll entertain a motion on 7A.
Make a motion that Wilson County enters into the PACE program with Alamo Area Council of Governments.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion on 7A? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it. Motion passes. We move now to 7B. Again, sir, Mr. Bell, consider and take possible action to approve an interlocal agreement with ACOG to administer the Wilson County PACE program.
Correct.
All right, sir.
We partner with ACOG. We serve as a day-to-day administrators of the program, leveraged on the relationship they have with you and other commissioners' courts and city councils in the region. So we, as I said, we do education outreach, we do presentations, we act in an advisory capacity to the applicants for loans and to the lenders. We somewhat handhold everybody through the process, coordinate the whole situation, working in conjunction with ACOG. After the loans are closed, we act in a compliance monitoring role and any troubleshooting, any problems that come up all the way until the loans are paid off.
Mr. Bell, can you tell us recently any other jurisdictions that have been benefited from this program?
Yes, sir. Universal City did a update on their program and on their report. City of Converse last week adopted the program as well.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on 7B.
I'll make a motion to approve an interlocal agreement with ACOG to administer the Wilson County PACE program. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Paradola, second by Commissioner Aiken. Do we have any other discussion on 7B? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Agenda item number 8, discuss and take action on approving the holiday schedule and set paydays for 2025. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for 8, agenda item number 8.
I'll make a motion to accept the holidays schedule as presented, as well as set the dates, the pay dates for every other Friday in 2025.
Second.
Motion's made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Paradola. Is there any other discussion on agenda item number 8?
Can somebody explain how the floating thing is going to work? Do you get both of those as floating, or what's the deal?
Brenda, you want to talk about that? Or where's our HR? Yes, come on up here, ma'am. I'm sorry.
He just picks on you a lot when it comes to that.
So I think the question, the Commissioner, and I probably have the same one, is it an optional thing? Is the floating day, is it does the elected head have the option for that? Or what is floating mean?
I haven't seen a floating day.
There's two floating holidays.
There's 2 floating holidays.
That's what we're trying to figure out is
26th.
what does the floating mean? Is it optional? You can have one or the other?
And I think, for the record, I think we just increased by 1 day from last year, correct? Is it 1 day more than we had last year? Yes, 1 day.
Yes, it is.
So aside from the floating, it went 1 day more.
Whoever labeled them floating holidays, but it's because they're following.
They're following the actual holiday
So
itself.
like the
I
day
got it.
after Christmas.
Yes. As far as floating, that's
In terms
irrelevant
of-
for
yeah.
me.
In terms of what you're used to as a floating holiday, where employees typically choose how to use their floating holidays, I don't think that's what's being
No,
presented.
these
I
are
think
actual
it's worded-
set holidays. This is typically what we had. It's just the way the holidays fell this year as far as weekdays and weekends.
I think the day after New Year's was taken away, wasn't it, and moved to another holiday?
Yeah, it was. It was moved
We-
to Juneteenth, I believe,
Juneteenth.
Yes.
years ago.
Had a lot of grumbling about
It was, we removed, when we added Juneteenth, we removed New Year's Eve.
Correct.
We removed December 31st and added June 19th. And I believe this new schedule has removed June 19th and replaced it with something else.
Yes.
So then, in other words, what you're saying is there is no floating.
No, no. Those are actual set holidays. The floating in my mind means that they're the day after the holiday. It's not the actual holiday itself.
Travel days and stuff. Always get that.
Okay, any other discussion regarding agenda item number 8?
I would just make a recommendation to take the word floating off of there.
Yes, when it's published, yeah.
Let's go back to Commissioner
Rescind my-
King and rescind your motion and
my
restate it.
motion. And once again, I will make the motion to accept the holidays as presented. Take the word floating out of January 2nd, 2025 for day after New Year's and December 26th, day after Christmas. And also set the pay scale, or the pay days for every other Friday for FY 2025.
Second.
All right, same, okay. Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Paradola with the amendment. Any other discussion on agenda item number 8? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 9, we have Ms. Stephanie Brown from the AAPDO Chief Public Defender's Office presentation on budget request.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
It's a privilege to be before this esteemed Commissioners Court. I'm here today with my office manager, Shannon Smith. Shannon has been with the AAPDO, Atascosa Area Advocates Public Defender's Office. She's been with AAA since before it was AAA, when it was Trala. So I brought her along because she has a plethora of information that would be germane to any questions you may have prior to this moment. I'm going to ask Shannon to pass out a packet that I presented to our county judge last week regarding our budget request. In this package, you will find our organizational chart for our office, the study done by Texas Indigency Defense Commission regarding the salaries of public defenders and district attorneys and counties attorneys across the state of Texas, all of the participating counties who were a part of this study. Also included are some charts and graphs pertaining to this same matter. There's a salary position ranges, and you will also find a comparison of the PDO salary versus the Atascosa County District Attorney salary and the county attorney salary. Now, I understand there may be questions regarding our budget request, so we are here to answer those questions.
Ms. Brown, we met last week, right, with all the judges from the 81st to 18th. First, I want to tell you that the personnel that comes here, they do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Always here when I requested them when I was on the bench, even at last-minute notices for juveniles that needed counsel. So we've been very happy and pleased with the services that y'all have been providing.
Thank you.
I know that there's an increase ask on this. We understand why. And after talking to several other people about that budget, I understand that we still have to pay someone to represent the indigent. So I'm very pleased with what we have right now. Compared, nothing against Trala, but I was here to listen to some of that stuff when Trala wouldn't even show up. Our counselors show up, and that's a good thing.
Thank you.
So, we have, Commissioners, we have budgeted for that request increase from Ms. Brown. It's already in the budget. While they're still looking over your budget, we've seen an increase here in Wilson County for representation needs for indigent?
That is true. That is a correct statement.
Just a roundabout percentage, what do you see that as an increase?
Well, Wilson County's caseload increased, when we started last year, it was 25.9%. This year, it's 27.4%.
So it's gone down?
So, no, it's gone up.
Up, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. So fiscal year, I believe 2024, because we're doing for 2025, was at 25.9%. When we did a case report for this year's budget for 2025, it increased to 27.4%.
Okay.
During this past month, we have dealt with the lessening of our staff. We've had three attorneys leave us within the last 3 weeks, and one office assistant leave us. And each of them left because they wanted to make more money. And so they've all left to go to other counties to do that. We are increasing our caseload across the counties, 4 counties, but we cannot keep up with the amount of cases that we have coming in. Unfortunately, crime does not stop. And so we are constantly looking to have people fill these positions. And I am not a warm body person. I look for the right person for the right job. And so far, we've established a passionate group of people who enjoy what they do. And I just want to keep these people without having to go look for them, because our staff is exceptional the way it is. And my fear is that we will not be able to continue to find people who fit the bill. They want to do the job, and they love what they do. We are slowly running out of attorneys. People are retiring. The new staff coming in, of course, are not skilled enough to take on the types of cases that we're having to try here. So we are hoping to maintain the staff that we have. The increase in the budget will actually help us do that.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 9.
I don't think there's
not a-
no action.
There's no action on that? Well,
I think this was
is there
just a-
support here for Ms. Brown's efforts? Maybe that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
I certainly do, ma'am. So for me, I support you.
Thank you. No questions?
All right. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
and it is nice to finally see you all, make your acquaintance.
I would just make a recommendation, Judge, and maybe Ms. Brown, just for future, like for next year, if you could maybe attend court in June or July, because at this point in time, our proposed budgets are already set, and it would be more helpful for us to know those numbers in June and July when we're preparing our proposed budget, so that we can plan accordingly.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Agenda item number 10, discuss and take action on mediated settlement agreement in the case of Sylvia Morales versus Wilson County, AL 201-95748-1. Commissioners, this involves a minor accident settlement. It's been recommended by the insurance agency, the settlement, and I've asked Ms. Huron if it's okay that we say what the settlement is. It's $40,000. They're waiting for our approval so that they can go ahead and settle this case.
And the insurance is covering this, correct?
That's correct.
It is, but it's an expense to the county of $40,000. That's our settlement agreement amount.
So the county's paying 40,000.
Yes.
No, I misunderstood. I thought the insurance was paying. the settlement.
So the
That was my understanding, the insurance pays.
It's part of the coverage.
Oh, I
So the insurance agent, so I was at the mediation, and so we negotiated that amount, the insurance will pay. is
Oh,
paying the
okay.
settlement.
I thought that was our portion of it.
No,
Okay.
no, we're
No.
Okay.
County's not paying anything.
Okay.
That's what we
Part
pay
of our
the
coverage.
liability.
Okay.
Thank you for
My
the
apologies.
clarification.
Thank you
That
for
was,
clarifying that.
that was my understanding that
Yes,
the
no,
insurance
you-
company
Okay.
No, there's no expense. to the
negotiated
county.
the settlement, and it's not costing
No.
the county.
Yes or no, we just need to approve the settlement.
I'll make a motion to approve the settlement through the insurance of $40,000 on the Sylvia Morales versus Wilson County AL 201-95748-1.
Motion's made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Peredola. Do we have any other discussion on agenda item number 10? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes. We move to agenda item number 11. We have Ms. Cindy Stafford, Emergency Management. Discuss and take action on placing the county in a burn ban.
Good morning again. Our current KDBI is 580. I've spoke to all the fire chiefs. They all agree that we should, at this point, consider the burn ban. Last week alone, we had approximately 150 acres burn and 2 homes destroyed. So I would request that we be placed under a 90-day burn ban, under our same previous conditions of ag exempts.
I'll make a motion to place Wilson County under a burn ban for 90 days.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Do we have any other discussion? I do. So what happens with what we have in place for our agri people who are ranchers who have a controlled burn at this point? They still come in and get their permit?
Yes, sir.
Because they're listening, I know right now.
They can call or they can come in. I am going to work with our IT department. I'm trying to get it all online so you can go to the emergency management page on the county webpage, fill out the burn permit, all online. So hopefully by the end of today or tomorrow, it can all be automated. But until then, they can call the office. There's 3 in the office that can take the permit in. They can come in, however we can do to make it convenient for the citizens to do that. But it does need to be agricultural, 10 acres or more. No subdivision burning is allowed.
I think I'll go out there and look at it prior to, that's part of the permit.
We request the fire departments to do that since I am not a fire marshal. I don't feel that that's my job. But so I send it to the sheriff's office, dispatch, and whichever fire chief it's in their district. And then I ask them to look at that.
Do we have Jason here from our IT?
He was here.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we get this on the website as soon as, after we vote.
The form is on the website, but right now it's not, you have to print it out, fill it out, and send it in. It's not form fillable, hit submit, I'm sorry, and it come back to my office. That's definitely an IT issue. I don't know how.
Before I call for the vote, I just want to take this time to thank you and all the fire response agencies who showed up out at Canada Verde for that huge fire. Y'all did a fantastic job. I know you were there all night, came back the next day, and including the Texas Forest Service who brought their bulldozers out and helped contain that fire. Y'all did an excellent job.
Thank you. It was a great community effort. I mean, thanks the commissioners for help as well.
Yes,
It's
commissioners
very
brought the
tremendous.
tractors out, helped unstick some
Yes.
fire trucks that got stuck in the sand.
Yes.
It's going to happen in this county, so.
It does.
Y'all came out with
And I
his
wanna-
dozer as well.
yeah.
He was one
Yeah.
of the first ones out there.
It was great.
So
And
for
it-
Commissioner Martin and Commissioner King's crew, they came out, did a fantastic job.
It was very helpful, and if it wouldn't have been for Texas Forest Service, that second fire would have been
Yes.
probably another 100 acres.
And a shout out to
Great.
DPS Aircraft who came in
Yes.
and did an aerial evaluation for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Very good effort on
You know,
everybody.
to that end, I think it would be, because this kind of thing does happen from time to time, and our guys are not firefighters, and they don't know what to look for. I would like to see
A class.
some kind of training class for them to know what they should do or shouldn't do. Do we need to give them any PPE when they're out there?
Yes.
I mean, you know, they're in a cabin closed vehicles, but, I mean,
Yeah, me and Commissioner Aiken spoke briefly about that, and then I got with Drew Liddell from Texas Forest Service, so they're looking at, they used to have a dozer class back 10, 15 years ago, so we're trying to find something like that, because that would be, y'all are the first line of defense on those dozers, so I am working on that, hopefully
okay.
very soon we can get some type of dozer training out there.
We don't have any bulldozers, do we, Commissioners?
No.
But we have front-end loader.
Vernon Lewis.
He has a track loader.
I ain't putting away in.
Well, I've
It's
got-
open, but
Yeah. But the rest of us just have loader. I think everybody has a cab, right?
Everybody's got a cab loader.
Okay, good, good.
In an emergency situation, then I'm sure they could call my son. We have 2 dozers that are cab dozers. I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank Bear County for coming out a couple of weeks ago. We had somebody with either a flat tire or a chain dragging and set a fire from Lavernia to Bear County line. Could have been a really, really bad situation. And Bear County came out and assisted. Again, Friday night, my son lost an 18-wheeler load of hay. He pulled into the Lone Oak Fire Department, and also ESD3 responded to that. We lost the whole load of hay, but saved his 18-wheeler and trailer. So thanks to the Lone Oak Fire Department and Wilson County ESD3 for responding to that.
Yes, sir. I mean, we've had tremendous interlocal agreements between Atascosa, Karnes, Bear County. It's been, like, I just stopped counting at 13 fires last week just because so much work to do, but we were at a minimum of 13 fires just last week. So it's been a tremendous help with everybody.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion before I call for the vote? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 12, we have Ms. Brenda Trevino, our county auditor, discuss and take action on awarding contract for architectural services for the new build expansion of Wilson County Community and Expo Center, RFQ 24-1008.
Yes, so if you remember, we went out for requests for qualifications for the architectural services. At the time, it was for both the front part, the expansion of the shelter of last resort, the evacuation center of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center, as well as the new build for the new show barn in the back. We decided since then that the architectural services were only going to provide services moving forward for the new build in the back. As we are currently going out for requests for qualifications for a contractor for the front part of the remodel. And so with that being said, we did have a scoring committee, which was made up of Judge Whitman, Commissioner Russell King, myself, my staff, which included Kristen Labus, Kayla Prado. We included Cindy Stafford from EMA and former Commissioner Paul File, who sits on the Wilson County Community and Expo Center Steering Committee. You'll see there that we did have, we scored 6 different respondents, which were Chesney Morales Partners, Inc., CMP, Deborah J. Dockery, Architect PC, Leg Architect, LLC, Lopez Salas Architect, Inc., LSA, PBK Architect and Engineering Services, and Sunland Group. I provided you the scoring sheet there. The scores, the criteria for the scoring were 25% based off consultants' capabilities, experience, and references, 25% based off of their project team, 25% based off of their method of approach, and 25% on an understanding of the requested services in our area. After all of the scoring was done by each individual score person, you'll see the results there, and at this time, we are recommending that the contract be awarded to PBK Architect and Engineering Services, who had a score of 99%. Would you like me to read the other scores?
Yeah, that'd be fine, go ahead.
Okay. Chesney Morales Partners had a score of 76%. Deborah J. Dockery had a score of 88%. Leg Architect had a score of 56%. Lopez Salas, 82%. PBK Architect, 99%. And Sunland Group, 76%.
Where's PBK Architect Group out of? Are they local?
They are in San Antonio, yes, sir. And I provided you a copy of their submittal as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Commissioner King was on the scoring committee and can speak to any additional questions or any further detail regarding the selection process.
This company kind of set themselves out there because they've done a lot with livestock, a lot of barns, and they're being local and between 4-H FFA type community stuff. That was one of the big things for this company.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 12.
Make a motion that we approve the building expansion for Wilson County Community and Expo Center under RFQ 24-1008 to take the bid from PBK Services.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner King. Commissioner Aiken, just for clarification, you're talking about architectural services. I think you left that part out, correct?
It's to accept.
Yeah, it's to accept it. Okay. You got it? Okay, all right. Any other discussion on 12, agenda item number 12? Hear none, I call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to agenda item number 13. Ms. Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, discuss and take action on purchasing a 2024 Vermeer wood chipper in the amount of $113,050 utilizing ARPA funds previously voted in court on August 12th for a lesser amount. So I want to explain, we had a cap for 110. It went a little bit higher, so we need to have another motion to approve that.
Yes, so the Commissioner Perdola went out and to confirm the piece of equipment had everything that the county required, and there was a change in it. And I believe what was approved at last court, like you said, was not to exceed $110,000, and this one came out to $113,050. So I just need to update the record.
When can we take possession of that, Commissioner?
As soon as we can get him a PO, it is at the factory in South Dakota.
Like a week, 10 days or something like that.
Yeah, a week to 10 days.
And that other one's completely broke.
Yes.
Are they going to take that in as trade?
I haven't gotten that far because he wanted to know whether we're going to buy the new one or not, so.
Okay.
There is a possibility that there could be some value on
Okay.
a trade-in on it.
Probably not much because it's the motor that's gone
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
and it's pretty well rusted out.
And this is 100% the prices.
I'm sorry?
This is 100% the price.
Yes.
Yeah, I do have the quote here, and it's
Yes. We got a quote, and he just needs a PO to get it shipped from the factory, and
Okay.
be here in about a week or 10 days.
I'll make a motion to purchase a 2024 Vermeer wood chipper in the amount of $113,050 utilizing ARPA funds.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Do we have any other discussion on agenda item number 13?
I just want to clarify, if you could just clarify for the record that this is replacing the vote that was taken at last court, so that there's not a mix-up.
So just so all the commissioners know, I found 2 local places in San Antonio. I haven't heard back from them yet on the truck that goes with the
Oh,
chip.
got it, yeah, okay.
So we're having a lot of difficulty. Evidently, they're not manufactured anywhere.
He started talking.
Area.
Commissioner King, amend your motion.
I'm going to amend my motion and go to replace the vote from August 12th on the Vermeer wood chipper of $110,000 and make the vote for today on wood chipper, Vermeer wood chipper in the amount of $113,050 utilizing ARPA funds.
Okay, again, the motion made by Commissioner King and is seconded by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion on agenda item number 13? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. The ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 14, we have Ms. Olga Marrero, Elections Administrator, discuss and take action on the Governor of the State of Texas proclamation ordering county officers' general election to be held at each county on the first Tuesday next after the first Monday in November 2024.
Good morning,
Good
Judge
morning.
and Commissioners. We have received their proclamation from the Governor Abbott for all counties to order the November 5th, 2024 general election. So I'm here to order our election. Now, election is hereby ordered to be held on November the 5th, 2024 in Wilson County, Texas, for the purpose of electing the following counties and precinct officers as required by Article 16, Section 65 of the Texas Constitution. The list of the offices, propositions, measures on the ballot will be the judge, county court of law, county attorney, sheriff, tax assessor collector, commissioners precinct 1, commissioner precinct 3, constable precinct 1, constable precinct 2, constable precinct 3, constable precinct 4. Early voting by personal appearance will be conducted each weekday at the Wilson County Courthouse Annex 3 Elections Office, Monday, October the 21st through Friday, October the 25th, from 8 to 5. Saturday, October the 26th, from 7 to 7. Sunday, October the 27th, from 12 to 6. And Monday, October the 28th through Friday, November the 11th, from 7 to 7. We will be having a branch early voting location as well. It's going to be at the Lavernia Church of Christ. Monday, it'll be October the 21st through Saturday, October 26th, from 8 to 5. On Sunday, October the 27th, from 12 to 6. Monday, October the 28th to Friday, November the 1st, from 8 to 5. The applications by ballot by mail shall be mailed to Olga Marrero at P.O. Box 188, Floresville, Texas, 78114. Our phone number is 830-393-7380. Early voting clerk's website is www.wilsoncountytx.gov. And applications for ballot by mail must be received no later than the close business day on October the 25th. And our federal FPCAs must be received no later than the closing business on October the 25th, 2024. And I also have the order of appointment of the election judges and alternates. The Commissioner Court of Wilson County do hereby appoint the following election judges and alternate judges for a one-year term to begin August 1st, 2024, or for one election to be held on November the 5th. So we have Box 101, we have Anna Willis for judge, and the alternate Charlotte Tabor. 102, Jennifer Murillo, alternate John Markowski. Box 103 and 104, which will still be combined. We're going to have Dorothy Pantuso and Elaine Dorney. 205, Linda Noel and Gracie Friesen Solis. 206, Bonnie Sario and Josefa Flournoy. 207, Don Mannon and John Reed. 311, Jenny Wolpole, Linda Mary Bettis. 312, Melissa Beck. Bron Gully. 313, Brad Chandler, Carrie Matula. 414, Ron Viatric and Carolyn Zock. 415, Virginia Gloca, Timothy Phillips. 416, Kevin Skrupa and Eric Walter. And we have our board, Ms. Joanne Tiller and Aurelia Vela. So it is hereby directed that this order be filed with the clerk of this court and a copy be given to the custodian of the election records for said county. The county elections or elections administrator is hereby instructed to send notice to appointment to each election judge of the appointment for 1 year term beginning August 1st, 2024, or a single election as stated above in accordance with next election code and 32.009.
All right, so I'm going to read the proclamation by the governor. To all to whom these presents shall come, be it known that I, Greg Abbott, governor of the state of Texas, do hereby order a general election to be held throughout the state of Texas on the first Tuesday next after the first Monday in November 2024, being the 5th day of November 2024. And notice thereof is hereby given to the people of Texas and to the county judge of each county who is directed to cause said election to be held at each precinct in the county on such date for the purpose of electing state and district officers, members of the Texas legislature, members of the United States Congress, and electors for president and vice president of the United States, as required by Section 3.003 of the Texas Election Code. In testimony whereof I have here signed my name and have officially caused the seal of the state to be affixed at my office in the city of Austin this 19th day of August 2024, Greg Abbott, Governor. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to accept this proclamation, as well as the order of appointment for election judges and alternatives.
Make a motion that we accept the proclamation from Governor Abbott, as well as the list of election judges for Wilson County.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Do we have any other discussion on agenda item number 14? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to agenda item number 15. We have Ms. Sarah Kennedy, President, Wilson County Mental Health Advisory Board. Discuss and take action on a request for permission to put several small yard signs on the courthouse lawn that bring attention to greater local awareness of National Suicide Prevention Month, given local crisis line number 988, as well as our crisis hotline number 800-543-5750, giving hope and information to our community. Do we have anybody that is going to speak on behalf of Judge Kennedy? Nobody here? All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 15.
I'll make a motion that we grant permission to put several small yard signs on the courthouse lawn to bring attention to the greater local awareness of the National Suicide Prevention Month. Is there a time limit to how long these signs will stay out, or do you want to put a time limit? That's kind of, we're not in discussion yet.
Yeah, okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Then we'll discuss.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perdola, it is seconded by Commissioner Martin. Now, do we have any other discussion on 15? Good question. I can't answer that, I don't know.
I would say for that month,
It looks for that month,
yes.
okay.
Well, just don't maintain these whenever they get, if they get knocked over or anything like that. Is that gonna be our
Right.
maintenance people, or, I mean,
Well, I guess they have to be kept in a neat, presentable
That's
manner.
what-
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
because, I mean, they got to mow around them and all that, so
Right.
they need to be put in places where it doesn't impede or.
Yeah, we also do this, I mean, that ends up being a small problem for us. I say small when we do our pinwheels during Child Abuse Awareness Month, when we put our pinwheels out in the courthouse lawn. But our maintenance guys seem to manage to remove them, mow the grass, and put them back in. I'll have to get together with Simon on that.
Just wanted to clarify if it was for that month of the,
Yeah,
yes,
Well, and do we know what month that is? Is it this month or next month or?
yeah, Commissioner, I don't know. Let me see. Doesn't have it on her. I can certainly reach out to her and find out what that month is, make sure that they're removed soon, or as soon after the month is over with.
good with that?
Okay. All right, motion and seconded. Do we have any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 16, we have Commissioner Scott Aiken, Precinct 4, discuss and take action on allocating funds for a Wilson County Transportation Initiative. Mr. Sean Scott, Senior Director with the Alamo Area Council of Governments, will present information and answer questions about the provision for and creation of transportation routes within Wilson County. Good morning, sir.
Good
You have the
morning.
floor.
Again, my name's Sean. Again, my name's Sean Scott. I'm the Senior Director at Alamo Area Council of Governments. I'm over public transportation and public safety there. Reason why we're here today is just to discuss some expansion of the public transportation that we currently provide here in Wilson County. Circumstances, or a little history and some circumstances that came up during this is that over the last few years, we have had requests from people in Wilson County for more services. Just hasn't been available because funding constraints. Alamo Regional Transit just hasn't been able to do that. This year, the state legislature allocated additional funding to the Texas Department of Transportation to provide operational support, which I've been doing this for 25 years. I never get operational support. We always get support for capital or buses or anything like that. But this was the first time I've actually seen new money injected into public transportation. And so the Alamo region is receiving approximately $300,000. Public transportation money needs local match. And so that's where the conversation comes with y'all. So the next slide shows that with the request coming up in the past, we had already started planning. We had already set a transportation goal of establishing a system that connects and addresses the needs in Wilson County. The next slide shows that in the last few months, we've held a total of 4 focus groups here in Wilson County. We've had community leaders together. They've come together, and users of the system currently, and then other users that, or people, potential users, I guess I should say. So people use our system, you know, for medical or going to work or just socialization, shopping, nutrition, anything like that. So when I've done these presentations, the local community leaders have asked me to present to you what the services could look like, and then what the cost would be, and then possible breakouts on some funding allocations. And so the next slide shows that Alamo Regional Transit in the planning study came up with a good design of 3 routes, and we're trying to keep the cost under control, obviously. And so the first route is what we call the route in Floresville. And that's on the next slide. The Floresville route is going to be the anchor route for this service. It's going to run 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can see by that route, I know it's not very detailed, but if you're familiar with the area, obviously, you can see that it covers many of the needs that are happening in the community here. Like I said, this would be the anchor route. It would Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We designed 2 other routes that we're going to call feeder routes. The one is going to be the, let me see if I get this out of order. There we go. The next slide. There we go. Lavernia, Sutherland Springs, and Stockdale. These routes would run 1 day a week, and it would feed into the show barn out there, and then also into the Floresville route that we've been discussing. The other route is a route going through Pandora and Stockdale, and coming back through Floresville. Both these routes would run, I'm not used to having 2 slides on my deal. So I'm sorry. So I told you about the scheduled service real quick. It's going to be the Floresville route, anchored Monday through Friday, 6 to 6. The other 2 routes, one of them would run on Tuesday, one of them would run on Thursday. You'd come in the morning, and you go back in the afternoon. You'd tie into the Floresville route that could get you almost anywhere you needed to go. We already have support in the community from our advanced demand response system, and so if the route wouldn't fit your needs, we do have other services here that they could provide, or that could serve their needs and everything. That would be the service design that we talked about. And then the other thing that was brought up is what do things cost here? You know, what is this route going to cost? And so when we break it down, the Floresville route, it's going to be I'm going to have to read that real quick. Around $300,000. I think $306,000 is a close number. And again, well, I'm going to repeat something real quick that I didn't mention. So we do all our service based upon revenue hours. And so that's how we come up with cost. And so right now, we take all our cost and we break it out by how many revenue hours of service we get. We get our average cost per revenue hour. And that's system-wide. And right now, our system's run a little over $98 a revenue hour. And so we took that Floresville route, the Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, and we came up with the amount of hours you see there. And then that's how we multiplied it by that 98. That's how we get those costs, right? So that's the total cost of the system to run the Floresville route, and then you see the Lavernia route, and then you see the Pandora route. And so those routes will come out the same. They only run 1 day a week for 52 times throughout the year. The next breakout that you're going to see over there is the annual cost, how things would come out. And so how do we pay for things? ACOG's willing to pay for 50% of all these costs on this. And so it comes out to, I'm going to say approximately $170,000. And then I put in there Wilson County at $170,000 also. So 50-50 match for the funds to be received from TxDOT. Wilson County would then, we'd be able to divide that out by the city of Floresville based upon their hours and them paying their 50%. So you would see that it's approximately $76,000. And then Lavernia's cost would be around $1,200 a year. And Stockdale's would be twice that, around $3,100. The reason Stockdale is because it's getting served by both routes, so it would get served double the deal. The issue came up with Sutherland Springs and Pandora not being incorporated, and so not having a funding mechanism. So those funds are just rolled into the county funds. And so if you look at the total breakdown, the ACOG would have paid the $168,000, and then between the three cities, they would have paid $87,000, I believe. And then, I'm sorry, $80,000, and then the county contribution would be the almost $88,000 annually per year. We do the same services in a couple different places. We do it in Atascosa County, and we do it in the city of Seguin. And so we set up an interlocal agreement that way. And so in Atascosa County, I'll show you on the next slide right there, is that we set up the original interlocal agreement with ACOG with Wilson County. And then we would set that up for the total amount, and then we would help Wilson County set up ILAs with the city of Floresville, the city of Lavernia, and city of Stockdale to get that done. Currently, ACOG has enough resources. We have buses in place. We have drivers that we can bring in, and we can get things turned around if we wanted to do this rapidly. And so with that, I'm going to kind of stop and take any questions that you have or anything that you would like to ask about it.
Mr. Scott, of the other cities, the incorporated cities, they've already agreed to?
So nobody's agreed to anything yet. I know that the city of Floresville has taken this. I presented to the city manager and to the mayor, and they seem to be on board. I will say that, so I can't speak for them, but they were taking it back to fit into their budget.
Brenda, have we budgeted?
Yes and no. Based on the information that Commissioner Aiken provided to us, the cost at the time that the proposed budget was being prepared was $84,000 and some change, and so I included $85,000 in the budget, in the proposed budget. So I would have to go back again and revise the proposed budget to increase it to the $87,000 and some change. So
Shortfall of $2,700.
We put that in the other three cities.
Couldn't hear you, sir.
We put that in the other three cities as well.
How much was the shortfall on that?
Bring theirs up.
we, in the proposed budget, I have 85,000, and I believe you have 87,200.
And that came from discussions after Mr. Akins right there, is when we talked about Pandora and Sutherland Springs.
84 was the original amount, and I bumped it up to 85 to give us a little bit of cushion, so.
Right, there wasn't any, the discussions about those two communities not having a funding source came up after that was sent to you. And so I think I understood what you said, Commissioner King, about asking the cities to take up, but none of the municipalities would have any reason to try to help with the rural communities.
Nicole, is this the same project that AgriLife was helping ACOG with? Okay, all right.
Sutherland Springs and Pettendor are two unincorporated communities that really could use the services.
Like I said, that's,
I can, if the court would like me to adjust the proposed budget,
Well, I mean,
again, I can.
it seems to make sense to me to do that now, but I guess the ultimate thing is everybody's got to agree before we can move forward. Or,
Yes, sir.
or we've got to pick up a bigger number, so.
And the motion needs to be made that way, that it's contingent upon the other municipalities or stakeholders.
and of course, this is set up that you can see that if somebody doesn't want to participate, then those costs would go away with that also.
In other words, you just say Stockdale doesn't want to participate and cut one of those routes, then just take that out. Is that what you're saying?
We would work that way. Stockdale would probably be the worst case scenario, but they did express great interest in this, and he was already going back with it. But if Lavernia wanted out or something like that, one of those anchors right there, then we could include Sutherland Springs back in with just a single route that's going up there to Pandora and Stockdale and come back that way. But Stockdale would be kind of a key one, and of course Floresville also.
What do you,
Would the program go away if the cities opted not to budget because the county would not have budgeted the full $168,000?
Correct. So, yes, if the city of Floresville decided they did not want to do this, then no, I do not see this project going forward at all. Now, I could see the smaller communities, depending on the current service that's already out there with the demand response, but it's not as reliable as this route system would be, because it's always going to be first come, first serve. The buses are already full.
what's your baseline of one of the communities just doesn't use it? I mean, what's the cutoff if they're not using it enough?
So we are going to shoot for, on the route in Floresville, we're going to start out at 7 rides per hour, which is, that's above average for a rural route system. On the Lavernia and the Pandora route, we're expecting maybe 3 to 3.5 rides per hour. And remember, it's really the 2 feeder routes are only going to run about 3 hours on Tuesday and 3 hours on Thursday, because it's going to come in and feed into the Floresville route.
So, on those 2 feeder routes?
Yes, sir.
So they just pick up one time in the morning, drop off, and then they sit there and wait? Or does it run back and forth during the day?
So I'll take the Lavernia route first. And so what we're planning on doing is picking up one time there in the morning. And we'll have about 3, I believe there's 3 stops that we're looking at there, might be 4. And then it would swing around and go up to, or swing over to Sutherland Springs and then go into Stockdale and come down. And we're hoping, and this started with the show barn out there and the senior center out there. And so we're going to tie into that and tie into Floresville. Then they're going to, then it stops, and then it's going to resume back at around 2:40 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get everybody back home. So it's only going to run twice.
Once to bring people over
And once to go back. I mean, and of course they could, in the afternoon, if you wanted, you could you could ride back on it also, and you'd just be kind of stuck in this area. If you had an overnight or something with a medical, then you could ride the afternoon route back to Floresville.
You all have a Stockdale to Lavernia route, or is everything
We
coming to
do not.
Floresville?
Everything's coming to Floresville is the way that the focus group and the information came back to us, is that the preferred was to come into Floresville for medical and shopping and that. We did get some input from Lavernia going into Bexar County and everything, but we don't operate in Bexar County.
I don't see both up there. Were they not wanting to?
We haven't got there that far, and I will speak to some planning that's going on right now with Karnes County, and we're believing that we're going to be able to tie all that because they're wanting to come into Floresville. I mean, that's very preliminary stages of planning right now. And if we wanted, I mean, like I said, this is very adjustable. You could see that I base everything on the hourly charge. And so if you wanted to add Poth in there, you could pretty much, actually it'd be a little bit less than what the Lavernia route or the Stockdale route would be, because the distance is just right there.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 16, contingent upon the other municipalities also voting to do so.
We're gonna make it a dual motion? That we amend the budget as well as?
Yes, to modify the current proposed budget to increase that amount by that much, and I'll decrease our reserve fund.
Can I ask another question before you do that? Sure. All right, so how long is ACOG gonna give us an annual cost of $168,168? Or is Wilson County, Forestville, City of Lavernia, and Stockdale going to assume that after so many years?
So my agreement with you is long-term. I mean, that's the only way public transportation works, is long-term commitments. And this will be a year-to-year commitment, obviously, based upon performance measures. The same with you. I mean, if you come back and we don't have ridership, you're not going to want to do this either. So we consider this a long-term investment. I mean, we don't see it stopping. I mean, we've been doing the Connect Seguin route now since, I want to say 2007. And so that's ongoing. The same arrangement with Cowboy Connect in Atascosa County. Very pleased with both those, and those aren't going to go away. The route systems are what we prefer because there's, no capacity limitations. We publish this. It becomes, we're locked into this once we do it. We are, as an agency, as a transportation agency, due to FTA requirements. It wouldn't be like we could just pull out. We would have to go through a public process to do that.
At a 50/50 or is?
Yes, that's how the agreement would always be written, and every year we'd usually come back and we amend the grant every year based upon what maybe the costs were. If our cost went up, cost went down, something like that. Most of the time they stay very flat. I will tell you that we've had a huge increase since 2020 to now, but I don't anticipate that going up much more. And we're finding efficiencies. I mean, the efficiencies of these routes are actually going to lower our overall operating cost.
Just to make sure that number, that is a hard number?
Yes, sir.
So we would budget it in our budget not to exceed the $87,269. So whether later on, whether the cities decided to participate or not participate, the money would just be in our budget for us to use or not use.
So do we want to say for the term of 1 year renewable?
Right, and then we would just, we come to you in June of every year during the budget process, and yes. Yeah, we were late this year just due to, this is all new, like I told you. In 25 years, I've never seen money become available for operating, and
It's okay.
so this time.
Okay. Make a motion that we accept this proposal from Alamo Area Council of Governments not to exceed the amount of $87,269 for annual services of the ART program, and also tie in with that we adjust the budget accordingly. And it is contingent upon the approval of the other stakeholders. Second.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Akins, seconded by Commissioner Paradola regarding agenda item number 16. Is there any other discussion?
You'll just pointing out to you, Commissioners and Judge, you'll see that in the proposed budget, it is on page 30, 75, under Department 0697 Governmental Agencies, you'll see the line item 4690 for Alamo Regional Transit of $85,000. So
Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all. I'm going to head over to the city now.
Okay. Agenda item number 17, discuss and take action, as Commissioner King, discuss and take action on Wilson County Collection Facility price list.
So,
One more time.
third time, we'll see where we go. Either it's going or it's not. All right, so I handed that back out to y'all again. So, last court, it was asked to add the trailers with walls. Okay, I did not break it down to 2-foot walls, 4-foot walls. I didn't break it down. If you got walls,
There's the price.
that's the price list, flat rate. Or else this thing will go about 60 pages long. Right, so.
Commissioner, is that the only addition you had to that?
That was the only addition, yes, sir. I will say with walls, I mean, the trailer's a trailer, but if you don't sit there and you don't put plywood from the floor of the trailer up to the rail, I'm gonna call that a wall. I think anybody else would too. Problems with that?
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 18.
We'll make a motion to accept the Wilson County Collection Facility price list as presented to the Commissioners Court.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by,
Put an effective date for this to start, yes, because I guess you gotta advertise it and all that stuff. So people know, get your sign made, I guess.
Yeah.
September 1st?
you want,
We can push for September.
let's amend that, please.
It's in a couple of days, but I probably won't have the sign made by then. So I'll amend that motion. I will go back and make a motion for the Wilson County Collection Facility price list to go into effect September 1st. It will be on the website, and I will get a sign out there as soon as possible.
Second.
Okay, now we have a motion made by Commissioner King with the amendment, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 17? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to agenda item number 18. Again, Commissioner King, discuss, take action on setting a public hearing date for the no-through truck traffic on County Road 204 east of Highway 181, Precinct 2, and County Road 106, Precinct 1.
All right, so
If I remember right, we need 30 days from now to do it, so it probably would need to be the first meeting in October, which is the 8th.
I didn't bring my phone.
30 days from now, 26th.
Fourteenth is this second Monday.
So I'll make a motion to set a public hearing for no-through truck traffic on County Road 204 east off Highway 181 and County Road 106 for October 14th of 2024 at 10 a.m.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion on agenda item 18? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it. Motion passes. We move to agenda item number 19. May I have Lou Serato, our Permitting Development Director. 19A, Utility Permit 1, Permit 771, 3 Oaks, WSC Precinct 2, County Road 204, review and discuss.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So first, we have utility permit 771 that's located in Precinct 2. They will be boring with a polyethylene line. High density, this will be for County Road 204, and Commissioner King has reviewed the paperwork.
Make a motion for Three Oaks Water to go ahead and bore under County Road 204.
Motion made by Commissioner King. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paradola. Do we have any other discussion on 19A1? Hear none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. 19A2, private water line 772, Intrepid Surveying and Engineering, Precinct 3, County Road 321, Jonathan Emmons, review and discuss.
So this private line will be going in on County Road 321. It'll be servicing the new subdivision of Heritage Woods. It'll be a 6-inch PVC with a 12-inch casing at 3 feet deep on the county right-of-way. The paperwork was submitted by Intrepid's Engineering and Surveying. This information was provided to Commissioner Perdola, so he would review beforehand.
I'll make a motion to move the private water line number 772 off of County Road 321. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Paradola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. We have any other discussion on 19A2? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. 19A3, permit 773, Sutherland Springs, WSC Precinct 3, County Road 343, review and discuss.
Utility permit 773 will be from SS Water. They will be boring underneath County Road 343 with a 2-inch PVC casing with a 1-inch service line.
I'll make a motion that we approve permit number 773, SS Water Supply, County Road 343.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Paradola, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion on 19A3? Hear none, I call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Move to agenda item 19B, interlocal agreement between Wilson County and the City of Floresville to use our TCEQ designated representative, review and discuss.
So I hope you guys all had time to read the interlocal agreement. I do have Mr. Jacob Montoya here from the City of Floresville to speak on its behalf. I've also asked our designated representative to be here if you have any questions on this interlocal agreement. I have had a couple discussions with the City of Floresville. Ultimately, I spoke to Ms. Huron, who said or suggested that I bring it to Commissioners Court for discussion. So the decision would be up to the commissioners whether we go into this interlocal agreement or not.
So what got us here?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same.
Mr. Montoya.
Hello, my name is Jacob Montoya. I work in the Permitting and Development Department. So what's been going on is we have some customers that aren't able to get sewer from us, so they ask for a septic. That is our last line of defense when we're asking for sewer. They can't afford, maybe their house is way in the back and they can't afford to pay for the, equipment to get out there, the sewer. They asked for septic, but we asked them to go through the whole process of, if it's too expensive, let us know. You can't afford it because you don't have a fall, get a lift station. If you can't afford a lift station, then the last line would be septic. Right now, the state is doing our septic, and they kind of want us to get away from that because I guess something happened before. So they said, try to get an interlocal agreement with the county. Apparently, it's been going on for a little while. When I got into this position, it was already being worked on. I kind of just moved it forward a little faster, going back and forth, missed it out right here, trying just to come up with a way to get this going so the people can have septic.
So, question is why isn't the city hired somebody to do septic?
I don't know. We don't get a lot of septic in our city. The last one I got approved was back in November of last year, and I haven't seen anything since come in for septic. So maybe that's why I wouldn't know why they haven't hired anybody.
The reason I ask is we have one lady that takes care of all county septic. To add a city to this,
How many requests for septic?
Ms. Overstreet, come on up.
Year, 5 years?
Like I said, the last one that happened was last year, and that was it. I haven't had anything this year at all.
So we want to ask Ms. Overstreet, our director over that, a few questions right quick. About how many of these have you done, Ms. Overstreet, for the city?
In August, we received 50 permits for the unincorporated Wilson County. The city, I don't know what they get. It does go through the state. I'm not sure if even what goes through the state is told to the city of Floresville right now, because I've been in contact with Ms. Rievenberg that does their permits, and I know of at least one since November that they have done. So I'm not even sure if the state tells them what permits they get. And but there's a lot of things that go on with, it's not just septic inspections. They want us to do all of the enforcement. And enforcement includes a lot of things. Like right now, I don't have the right, I can't ticket. So if there's a failing septic system, I just can't go and give somebody a ticket and then it goes on. It has to go through the county attorney's office. Sometimes I'd have to get a constable involved. Right now we have one case coming up where, the commissioner's been involved, Luce has been involved, the county attorney's been involved. And just enforcement is kind of the biggest issue for me. And with the fact that they don't have that many septics, but if they have me available, does that mean that maybe they'll have more septics in the future? And then with aerobic systems, there's maintenance contracts, inspection reports. I'm already 4 months behind on entering inspection reports. There's just more than just inspections when it comes to septic. And so I'm just concerned that if they have, if I'm available to them, what more could happen with the growth of the city, since I just don't understand what the growth means for septic.
that's why I brought the question up is, why haven't y'all hired or are y'all looking to? Because she is maxed.
We're looking to hire. I would like to go to class as well. That's been a topic also. Just we want to just get someone to do it now until we find somebody, or I can become available to do it. And after that, we would terminate the contract if it was to go through. Anybody else that's getting it right now, we don't just issue septic. I can't even say anything, but I just tell them, if you can't have sewer, then get with the state for septic. But we don't approve it if it's in the city. It's kind of frowned upon. We don't want septic, so we wouldn't just get anybody because someone's taking care of it now, because it'd come through us first.
What's that timeline look like? Because, Ms. Overstreet's pretty overwhelmed on what she has now.
Correct. I don't know, because I heard they're gonna either train someone or hire somebody. I don't know what they're gonna do yet as far as that goes. But if it was to go, I would try to give it, and I'll highball it maybe a year, and then after that, find someone if we can't, find somebody else or terminate the contract.
How long has this local agreement been going on with the county, between the city and the county?
I know this was happened before I started. I don't know how long before that, but since I started, it's been about maybe a year.
It started when Ms. Burleson was the director, for the first time the county got word about it.
So what I'm saying is, it's an ongoing thing.
It's been an ongoing.
But we're saying- You're telling me it's gonna take a year before y'all get somebody, but it's already been over a year.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm confused.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I just took this over. They asked to pursue this, the local agreement. Anything above that as far as hiring or training, that's above my pay grade to find anything out. I can go back and see what the issue is on that, but,
City manager should have came out.
so, that's what I have.
Your opinion matters, ma'am. We want to hear from you.
All I can say is I did 50 permits last month. The month before, we were around 50. This month, we're a little bit slower, but this is the busiest we've been since 2021. I started in 2021. We have averaged for the county no lower than 30, 40 permits. It's kind of a long process. The permits come into the office. They have to be approved. You know, I have to go through the paperwork, approve. Then once they're approved, I have to go out and inspect, then I come back in and do more paperwork. It's not just go out and inspect the system, it's approval of paperwork, it's entering of paperwork, it's keeping track of systems that are in the county, doing maintenance contracts, inspection reports. It's more than just going to the site and inspecting. And then if there is a failure within the city, it's like there's a big difference if there's a failure on a 10-acre property or if there's a failure on a half an acre property with another home, you know, that's all quick. I just don't know if I could add, which, like, I don't think Jacob really has the numbers of what the state is doing. If he had the correct numbers, I think it would be more than one since November, because, I mean, I am in contact with the TCEQ representative.
So out of those 50, we're not talking 50 in the city.
No, that's unincorporated, that's ours. I don't know what goes on in the city. We don't do anything in Floresville City, we don't do anything in Livonia City, we don't do anything in Stockdale. All of those are done by a state representative. Those aren't, we've never had an interlocal agreement with any of the cities in the county.
Here's another question is, if something wasn't approved within the city, right? Who's that gonna fall on if we took something like this over? Is that gonna fall on the county at that point? Or who's going?
If it wasn't approved, like through, so yes, so they want us to do all enforcement. So if somebody puts in a legal system that would be enforceable through the county, that is not gonna be enforced through the city. They want us to do everything, all the permitting, all the inspections, all the enforcement, all the maintenance contracts, all the inspection reports. They don't want to have their hands in any of it.
You know how many septic systems you have in the city at this time?
So Floresville City has never kept record of their septic systems. The state probably has records, but I know Floresville City has no records of their septic systems inside the city limits. So I have no record of anything and I don't, I mean, I'm sure the state will give me the documents that they have, but yeah, they have no documentation of the septic systems in their city, and so that's concerning to me. Also, another thing is, I don't want to just be like, somebody comes in and it's like, I live in the city, give me a septic system. Like, there would have to be some type of approval through the city saying that they approve a septic system to be put in. Just like anybody, I don't want anybody to just come in and say, hey, we live here, I need a septic system. Like, there has to be some part from the city, like, approving that they are allowed to have a septic system in the city.
One of the concerns that I have is there's no fee schedule in here. It just simply says that each party paying for the performance of said functions shall make those payments from the current revenues available to the paying party. That doesn't say a lot to me. So, I mean, there needs to be a...
That was one thing we talked with about Evelyn, because we talked about in the past in our office about having the city pay a monthly fee plus the permitting fees from the people that submit the permits, mostly for enforcement. because the permitting fees we accept right now include enforcement of those permits. So when we have a system that comes in, like an aerobic system costs a little bit more than a conventional system, and that's because we have to do maintenance contracts and inspection reports. But so they have all these systems that have been installed, who knows how long they've been in. We've never accepted permit fees, so we're just gonna be doing enforcement for pretty much free. We've never been,
Well, I would think an hourly rate would be, you know, if it takes you 30 minutes to do it, take you
Right.
30 minutes, but another one might take you an hour depending on.
right, or
2
weeks. Enforcement is not 1 hour, 2 hours, enforcement is weeks.
Okay, so you
We
haven't,
don't know how many aerobic systems are in Floresville City.
We do not know how many aerobic systems are in Floresville.
so it would be proper to have a service fee, correct?
So that's what we spoke about in the very beginning of this came in, was like a monthly fee from the city, plus we accepted all of the permit fees, all the permitting came through us. So we just took all their fees. The city has been against that monthly fee, so I'm not really sure about that. That's above my pay grade. We did speak about having a different fee with Ms. Huron for the city, that they had to pay a higher fee. But once again, that puts the enforcement of all old permits on new permits if we do it that way.
I'm a little concerned about that because, now, Luz, you can probably address this. We do food inspections for them, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
How much do they owe us for food inspections they have not paid us for?
I believe last time I spoke to Christina, it was since July. Yeah, since July that they,
What's the price tag on that?
did we have a number for that? The original number that I had was from the prior year, and it was $22,000, but I need to get the correct numbers from Ms.
So that was from last year.
Yes, there's 72 restaurants that our food health inspector inspects for the city. And the split is 80-20, so we make 80% of it, 20% goes to the city. The agreement that I pulled up prior, years past, was that the city just pays the county for those as they receive their permits.
So they're delinquent $22,000 for our services.
From my math, but the numbers that I had were from July, so I did contact Ms. Mutz to get the accurate numbers, and she was gonna look into it. I mean, I'm trying to keep an unbiased opinion about this, that's why I've asked both Jacob and our septic inspector to be here to speak on its behalf. It would just be really hard to keep track. I know when they come to the county, they have to obtain a development permit before they pull their septic permit. So we would either need information from them or go from them to do the septic inspections, knowing that they have a development permit or not. There's just a lot of things that would be up in the air and a lot of things that would have to be figured out. And one of them is if the county did want to add on billing, how would we address that?
There's only two reasons for somebody to want to be on septic within the city limits of Floresville anyways, and that is it's cost prohibitive to take and have the existing sewer system come out to them, or they want to be off-grid, one or the other. And if they're going to thrive as a city, I'm not sure that septic systems is the way that it's going to go anyways, because you're going to have all your neighbors that are on one system and then a neighbor right in the middle who's not.
We do have a subdivision that was, I guess, pulled out of the ETJ for that reason, just because they couldn't connect the wastewater treatment plant. So that entire subdivision is now the county's and for us to maintain.
Gonna go with septic.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and
And again, this is not an action item. I just wanted to bring it to the commissioners for discussion and open it up.
I'm just gonna go back to what I said before. I mean, if they're telling us possibly a year to get somebody in place, but we've already been working this for a year, I think the city of Floresville needs to start working something a little bit quicker.
Well, and I'd want to see.
Piggybacking.
I'd want to see numbers of how many aerobic systems are in Floresville that you would have to go back and pick up the paperwork. You would have to find out how many inspections that we're looking at doing on aerobic systems that are already in place. I don't think we have enough information, and I'd like to see the city get current on what they do owe us before we would even think about taking on more.
Just like Mr. Martin brought up, putting a pay fee in here as well prior to. So,
Yeah, there's some more information that we're going to need for the court before we can follow, but thank you for the information. Anyway, can you get back to us soon, next, maybe a couple of court dates from now, and let us know, you know what the questions are. We need answers to them.
Of course.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say, I dropped off a check last month for the food permits. I don't think it's caught up yet, but as far as since I've been in, we paid it all, most of it last month from October to last month.
Okay.
So I dropped it off beginning of this month, I believe.
Very good.
And so now we got in the local agreement, it's every 30 days you are to get paid. That's how we're doing it now. Every 30 days, even if it's just one, we're giving the check out, just to be up to date for now. And as far, just want to say the sewer goes, they'd have to go to council in order just to get septic. They have to get permission first. So, and it would be the last thing to do. If there is sewer in front of their house, then it's a no. They can't just have septic just because they want it.
Okay.
Thank you.
sir.
thanks for coming up.
Judge, I need to be excused. I gotta get to a doctor's appointment.
Yes, sir. Let the record reflect Commissioner Martin's excused. Move to agenda item number 20. We have a county sheriff's office monthly progress report.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, I should have left a copy of this on all of y'all, in front of all of y'all's desks this morning. Okay, year-to-date, total calls, we've run through July, 11,034. The month of July only 1,819 calls, which about average, maybe a little bit high. Livestock calls for the month of July, 71. Of course, it was getting dry again at the end of the year. Those kind of started back up again. We'll see how that goes this month. Animal complaints, 38, running about average. We average about 30 animal complaints a month, 218 for the year. Mental health calls, 13, probably just a little bit low. We're running 121 of those for the year to date. Total arrests, 39 in July, 180 for the year. Security checks, 177 for the month of July. Year-to-date, 1,310. Patrol buys, 718. Year-to-date, 4,024. Traffic, we ran 395 traffic stops. Total to date, 2,096. CID, closed cases 27 in the month of July. Total cases taken in the month of July 97. Total year-to-date closed 186. Total cases 950 for the year. 15 cases sent to the county and district attorney in the month of July. 4 to the county, 11 to the district. 98 year-to-date to the county, 78 year-to-date to the district attorney's office. Those ones cleared by on the bottom's not that important. OLS, felony arrest, my interdiction, 24 felony arrests for the month of July, 163 year-to-date. Misdemeanor arrests, 21, 104 year-to-date. Traffic stops for the month of July, 195, which is a little bit low. Year-to-date, 1,500. Reason those are a little bit low, I think I actually had both of them on vacation at some point in time in July. No weapons seized in July. Recovered one stolen vehicle and returned one undocumented alien to the Border Patrol. Narcotics seized in the month of July, 56.6 grams of meth, 1.45 ounces of marijuana, and THC oil of 12.66 ounces. Year-to-date, fentanyl was at 9.7, but that was all in one contact in February. Otherwise, we have been lucky in not having any contact with that in this county at this time. On the jail side, I'm working on cameras, system in the jail. We've had some camera issues, and they're fixing to replace the interior and exterior cameras at the jail. Think Guardian, they're in touch with Jason about camera systems at the courthouse.
Annex?
I mean, at the annex.
Right.
And so we're working on that. Also, after I started looking at budget, I know I've talked with Brenda about this before, but I think it's time for us to, now that budget's out of the way, to get busy. I think I can find us some pretty good financial savings in the meals at the jail by going through and contracting with a company. And like I said, I'll get with her in the next couple of weeks now that this other stuff's kind of out of the way and see what we can look forward, because the Atascosa County Jail's budgeting $150,000 a year less than me, and they got more people. So there's got to be something I can do better.
That's right.
That was the food services.
That's strictly food services. They're a bigger jail, and they're budgeting $150,000 less. There's got to be something I'm doing wrong, or some other means available. And I think these companies might be able to help us out with that.
The medical side, y'all are still good on that, or
Sir?
on the medical side, are you doing anything with
I got the quote from Mandy Shrala, and I guess I'll sit down between now and the next Commissioner's Court, look them over. I think I can get it from you, but I asked for it from the company. I want their full contract instead of just a renewal, so I can get everything on both contracts and then get with y'all.
Yeah, some counties are leaner, some have the same, even more than what you pay.
Right.
Medina County's 300,000. They got a lot of inmates, and I'm not sure they service a lot of.
Medina County,
They got some federal.
I think they just double the size of theirs, and I think they're going to be up to somewhere close to 400 inmates, at least 400 beds. I don't know what they're housing, but.
And I think what we decided to do in the proposed budget is just budget as if we were going to renew another year with Southern Health Partners. And meanwhile, that'll give the sheriff time to explore other options. And if it comes out to where it's less expensive for us, then that's just that much less that we have to spend.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, sir. The locks are working fine. The control panel has issues from time to time. Right now, we're looking at, well, that's what we're looking at. The question is, they spent $200 and something thousand to do this 5 years ago. Do I need to spend $200,000 to do it again? If I can find it within this budget, which I'm close now, so I can see exactly what I've got left. If I can find it within this budget, I'll probably contract to get the control panel changed. Otherwise, it works when it works. It works for about 6 months with no issues, and then all of a sudden it started having issues again. It's a software problem, not a hardware problem.
How old is that panel?
5 years?
Just replaced it
It was just before, it's either 5 or 6 years old.
5 years ago. It had not been replaced
and
in like
it's all
over 20
computerized.
years. So I told the sheriff that I would pull the original contract when we did it so that I could read through it to see if there was any warranty from the company with CML Security, but the software company that he's working with that operates the control panel doesn't have anything to do with the company that installed and sold us the equipment. So that's where I think the struggle's coming in. But
She said,
But hopefully, if we're pulling the old contract to see, I doubt, because it's been already going on 5 years. I don't know that there's anything covered under that, but we'll certainly look at it.
And I have a current quote to replace it at, I think it was $224,000.
That's the whole system.
That'd be come in and replace the whole system, yes.
Well, that'd probably be better than just piecemealing it, my thoughts. I mean, if you're, it just doesn't seem, what if they're not compatible? That's my problem. Put the whole new system in.
Right.
So, okay. All right. Anything else for the sheriff? Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 21, we have Ms. Barnett, Tax Assessor Collector Monthly Report.
Hello. So this should be short. For July 2024, the total collected was $1,141,979.35, and this is for the tax side. Fees were $1,785. We issued $88,472.45 in refunds. So the total amount paid out to the taxing entities was $1,055,291.90. We paid out to Riverbend TIF $1,059.99. We had 13,650 transactions on the tax side of our office. For the DMV side, we had, we paid out to the county for road and bridge fees, $51,075. Commissions payable for auto, $15,290.95. Young Farmers was $405, and the state comptroller, $1,020,636.17, for a total of $1,087,407.12, with 6,652 transactions. Texas Parks and Wildlife, we collected $9,942.22 for a total of 48 transactions. So the total that came through my office in July was $2,239,328.69, with a total of 20,350 transactions.
refunds for?
Refunds were for taxes, for people applying for their homestead exemptions, anything approved through the appraisal district. Those refunds come through our office.
So that would include those that put in also for veterans that are 100%
Yes.
building.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Agenda item number 22, we have Ms. Christina Moots, County Treasurer, discuss take action on the County Treasurer's financial report.
Good morning.
Morning.
What I have this morning, I'm already skipping ahead this afternoon. This morning in your binders is my July report for 2024. You'll see on the first page our checking accounts listed with all debits and credits, what our ending balance was as of July 31st, 2024, our CDs as well. Moving forward onto our investment accounts that are listed with any transactions or deposits that were made. Followed with our outstanding debt and lease purchases. And at the end, of course, then it gives you an overview of the beginning and ending balances of all our funds that we have.
I see we're still doing quite well on our investment interest, correct?
Yes, sir. The interest rates are still at your 5, a little over 5. They are, over time, you'll see that they're falling just a little bit, but 0.02 or, nothing drastic at the moment. I believe tax pool went up 0.002, I believe, from last month, from June till July, but still, they're still holding steady and doing well. They can stay in the 5s as long as we can take that.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, Christy, I was going to ask you, is it possible to move some of the ARPA money over to Texas Class, or have you done that already?
I have not. I set it up.
Oh, you
I
did? Okay.
I set it up within what it's called a sub-account within our Texas Class. So I set that sub-account up. And all it takes is just getting with the bank and making sure that the accounts and everything gets transferred.
Okay.
So that is actually on my list because it did not get finished last week with the setup, but I
Okay.
can transfer it this week.
Perfect.
I would just need to know, obviously, if there's any transactions that might take place.
Right.
I won't do the whole amount.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
leave.
and I can let you know, we won't have any big expenses, but yes, I'll get with you on that. But I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure, since it's accruing good interest, we should probably.
Yeah, there's nothing in there right now, but it will be listed just like I did the EOC fund. So we'll have another, hopefully, well, what are we at, the 26th? So probably even when I do August, it'll be listed on there. And with that little, with the interest, you should get a little bit for a few days till the end of August. But yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's doing quite well. That's good. Very impressive.
So, but if there is any questions.
Going back to the ARPA, there was a net, maybe I'm reading this wrong. There was a debit of, where did I see 79,000 from ARPA fund?
It does show a debit of 74.
74,
And
what was that about? Did that have anything to do with having the RBK bill?
That's.
Okay, that was
Yes,
the
I was going to
RBK
say, thank
bill?
you for saying that, because I was thinking that was back in July. I was thinking I'm already in August. Yes, that was, I believe, that should have only been the one transaction, and we'll get clarification. But I think that was the RVK, if I'm saying it right.
RBK.
Architect.
And I want to bring it may be the same one. It's on my desk. Let me bring it to you and look at it. If it is, it sounds like the same number.
Okay, because I know there's also, I think, one this time too, so it probably, yeah.
There is.
I think there's another one
Or
we don't know
county.
anything about, so.
I can tell him no more. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But yes, let me just double check of what you have and I will compare.
Okay.
But that's right.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to accept the county treasurer's financial report.
Make a motion to accept the county treasurer's report.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the second? Okay, motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Perodolo. We have any other discussion regarding agenda item number 22? Having hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 23, we have J. Lynn Bodiford, our Human Resource Specialist, presentation of payroll and personnel changes.
Good morning. Benny Cantu was hired as a road hand for Precinct 3, making $19 per hour or $39,520 annually effective August 19th. Nathan Slimane was hired as an assistant county attorney for the county attorney's office, making $73,426.08 starting August 26th. James Newman has resigned from his position as a road hand for Precinct 3 effective August 14th.
Did I hear you say Nathan Slemane's coming to work for us?
Yes, sir.
What a great choice.
Yes, he starts today.
That is a great attorney.
Yes.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Agenda item number 24, Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, discuss and take action on county bills.
Okay, so I have a total of $808,241.35 of invoices that I have reviewed and approved for payment. then I also want to discuss one invoice that was in question last quarter.
Sorry. I said, I'm sorry. I normally throw the first one over to the sheriff.
That's okay. I wanted to just address, I believe there was a question at the last court, and I had left for a doctor's appointment, and I wanted to address your question regarding an invoice for the leased vehicle in the county attorney's office. The total amount of that 12-month lease was inadvertently left off of last year, of this current year's budget. During the budget process, the line item was left off. I budgeted more in his software line item and was supposed to do a transfer into a vehicle line item. And when we discovered it, the budget had already been adopted, so I hadn't made that change yet. The county attorney and I agree that we would use that software line item that had more money budgeted in there for the monthly payments on that vehicle. And then we also agreed that at the end of the year, come September 30th, I would evaluate to determine if there was going to be a shortage. And if so, he would utilize the pretrial diversion fund or the hot check fund to pay the difference, which he has the authority to do so. After reviewing his statement of operations last week, he's only at 68% usage of his budget, so there's not any reason that we need to do a transfer now. And transferring line items within an official's budget happens quite often. So that's once the official calls me and asks if a transfer can be made within their budget from one line item to another, if it makes sense to do so, then that's something that's certainly allowable. That invoice is a monthly invoice that you have been approving every month since October of last year. And we are down to our final payment in September. And I had already authorized payment of that invoice, and payment has been made, so it is included to be ratified along with the invoices that you have in front of you.
Just so that we'll know that payment's been made for the vehicle, correct?
Yes, it has.
No, I don't think they're gonna come repossess that vehicle. I hope not.
Question on the bills real quick is RVK has got another $6,548.76. What are we paying them for?
That is another invoice, yes, and I believe that's in Fund 6, what's that, Fund 16?
1605.
Yeah, 1605, that's our Emergency Operations Center. So every time RVK does anything related to the Emergency Operations Center, we get billed for it at their hourly rate, so.
My problem is, I don't know of anything we've asked them to do recently to.
Hasn't been doing anything this month.
I can pull the invoice and, would you like to see the invoice?
We met, I mean, there was multiple meetings. They took, and I'm sure this is about coming up with the vendor to be able to be approved to take on the task of building the EOC.
Well, many of those functions are already built into the money we paid them. They're supposed to brief us on that, am I correct?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I thought a lot of this last portions, and we're in the final stages of starting to break ground, that was already built into the cost we paid them initially to come in and brief us on.
I'm getting a copy of the invoice right now. Let me look.
Because there's one other thing on this invoice that we gotta make sure about, because I was told that we're pulling our own permits, and they actually have a line item to pull permits for us. Kind of confused on that too, at this point.
Okay, I'm having her send me a picture of it right quick.
Permits we would
So-
need would be from ourselves, right?
No,
No,
because
it'd
we're
be the
building
city.
within the city.
City.
So, let me just read off the, wait, let me make sure this is the right one. Yes, for $6,548.76. Okay, so we've got, these are professional services from June 29th through July 26th. Total this invoice, it's for reimbursement of travel expenses. It's for schematic, I guess contract amounts for schematic design and development. I'm trying to,
Judge, didn't y'all have all this already done? I wasn't part of these conversations, but I bring this up because
so it shows that prior to, the fee was $330,551. Labor, $158.75, and additional expenses, $5,248, for a total of $335,958. So the difference between, I guess, what we previously paid, the $342,507, and now the difference is the $65,4876. Their invoices, in my opinion, are convoluted, and I would
written to
assume
where I
that
don't
you
even
guys
understand what
understand
they're
how to
doing.
read them and not me, so.
Well, we're gonna ask a lot more questions of them, because I'm real uncomfortable with those invoices coming in when we haven't asked them to do anything.
that was from June. Why are we just now getting?
The date of the invoice was August the 14th.
Okay.
And
No, we had this
so
similar-
this went from June 29th through July 26th, and then they billed
We had
us.
this similar problem with another firm, that when we called them in and said, look, ironically, went from a $20,000 bill to below a $10,000 bill.
It shows that there was, under current amount due, it said structural and map engineering for $3,765. And then there was also $2,600 for additional rendering. I'm assuming that's what that $2,600 is. But then the $3,765 says for Lunday and Frank Structure and MEP Engineering. Whatever that means.
We'll find out. We'll
Yeah.
give them a call. Okay.
Definitely need to.
And then $183.76 of travel expenses.
Okay.
So would you like me to hold off on paying this invoice?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
So are we gonna approve the total, or are we gonna take that total out?
Take that total out for right now, until we get some more answers. Right?
Correct.
Okay, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to accept the county bills with the exception of RVK until we find out what's going on with that.
Yep. So I'm punching on it.
Yes, and you can modify that. Sorry, Shane.
So the new amount, if I did math correctly, is $801,692.59, if anybody wants to double check that. $548.76. I'll make a motion to pay the bills of $801,692.59.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Perdola on agenda item number 24. We have any other discussion? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Perdola. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, we are adjourned. Shit, are we in August? All right.
Oh, yeah. That's why I bring a briefcase.
Hey, man. Look forward to seeing you Wednesday. You gonna make it over, just Pat's?
No, it'll be me and Randy and whoever else he chooses.
Okay, good deal.
I'm looking forward to it.
Worst case scenario, you have to go to Far West. But since I'm gonna have fun, I think I'm gonna try to go to
Where you going?
where it's warm. I'm about to freeze to death. I'm about to freeze. My hands are like ice. I need to step out to where there's a little bit of warmth. I'm kind of used to the hot part.